Hello, everyone. Wow.
Damn, no countdown.
Triforce live.
Are we live,
It's
really?
happening.
We're live.
That quickly?
We have done this every year for the last couple of years, Sips. So it should be familiar to you. It's lovely to see you in person. I always forget that we've got little bits of camera on this. You get a little glimpse into
I'm looking at all of you guys right now.
The psycho hoarder cabin that Pickaxe lives in.
Yeah.
Yo, shut up.
I know. Look at all
like
that
some
shit behind him.
Bomb making equipment back there.
It's cool stuff.
You could have made an effort.
I did.
You could have tidied up a bit.
Stash all my shit. Look, I've got my. This is my Copenhagen. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Or is
Copenhagen.
That's spelled wrong. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Chippenham, or however it's actually pronounced.
Copenhagen.
And honestly, it's funny how we've all got tons of shit in the background. I guess it's just a thing that we just accumulate stuff, and
mate. If I don't keep it in here, it gets chucked out.
This is it. This is it. I'm very protective of my piles of stuff.
One of the teams gave away this as merch. It's a can of trout.
Very nice.
Is it trout?
Yes, there's actually a can of trout in here. Look,
it's kind of weird. You got to keep stuff in your office for it to not get chucked out. My office is where the stuff gets chucked out too. This is like a dump in here. This is where all the stuff that nobody wants ends up. I got everything back here. It's crazy.
What's that big delivery you got?
It's a shower screen.
Ooh,
for a bath. It's a bath shower screen.
Oh, so you don't so you get privacy in there.
It's more just to keep the water in the from splashing out.
Are you a very splashy bather?
Are you familiar with a shower?
Yeah, no, we have a shower as well.
Yeah, Lewis is asking, like, this is a new invention. It's like the screen it's there to stop the water from coming out.
For the bath hose, like the detachable hose. Sometimes if you're in the bath, you want to have like a rinse or whatever. That water goes everywhere. I don't know if you have any experience with that, but you got to keep
Lulu's on a no water bathing thing. He uses, I don't know what the vegan equivalent to water is, something like dust or
fondue.
Powerful blast of air or fondue.
Yeah, vegan fondue.
Oh no, I laser clean like those guys on TikTok. Have you seen it's like sandblasting or like power washing, but with a laser? Oh, that would be good.
God, yeah. What the industrial shit with like that?
Yeah, they remove the tattoos of them.
Amazing.
When it zaps them and leaves them all red and sore afterwards.
Hell of a zapping.
Yeah, I think that would be that's the future, right? You get up in your spaceship, you walk into like a pod, and it like laser cleans you. Oh, then it's all. You can smell that like slightly burning hair.
Excuse me?
I guess it would also shave off all the hair on your body, right? If you got laser cleaned, it'd be like having electrolysis or whatever.
I've been waxed before. That was unpleasant. I'm quite hairy. I'm quite hairy all over. Not super hairy, not like an old Greek guy or anything, but pretty hairy. And so Mrs. F was like, "Why don't you wax your back before we go on holiday? It'll look great." I was like, "Okay." So I went to a local place. The lady there was like, "Oh, I love waxing men's backs." She's like, I just pretend you're my boyfriend. I was like, fucking what? So I'm a surrogate person going, ah!
Did you look at the strips when they were done? Did you see all the gunk that comes out?
Yeah.
Did you have any big, like spaghetti gunks come out? Like sometimes you see those videos where people squeeze like a blackhead or whatever, and it comes out like in a string.
God, no. Stop saying these things. I'm going to be sick.
I think it is like quite satisfying to you love power wash sim, right? And you like to see a nice clean wall panel or whatever, do you know what I mean, or floor tile.
Yes.
It's the same for a human back. You got this horrible gigantic gorilla back. You want to get it all nice and pink and soft and smooth, like your head, P-Flax,
Thank you.
Just think, and she must also enjoy the pain. She must be envisioning that you are her terrible boyfriend who's caused her all this hassle and doesn't empty the dishwasher. He's just an asshole, and she's like, "Oh, I get to just rip all of his hair out."
It's weird, like when people enjoy grooming, like not like in the like grooming like other people Not in like the
Yeah,
you know, like how like apes groom each other, that kind of way. You know, like they pick the nits out of their hair and like, you know, combing your hair and waxing other people and stuff. I wouldn't want to do that to anyone. I wouldn't want to do any of those things to anyone
never
else.
brushed your
I don't even want to do those things to myself.
I brush the kids' hair. I don't brush Mrs. F's hair. She can brush her own hair. I mean, she doesn't trust me to.
I don't brush my daughter's hair either, and they don't want me to because I have no experience brushing long hair. So when, like, on the rare occasion where I have to do it, they're like, "What are you doing?" I don't actually know what I'm doing. There's like knots and shit in there, and I'm powering through them, and they're screaming. Yeah,
you got to hold the top bit and then rake it out. I mean, when Mrs. F was working full time at the office and the babies were young, I would have to. You grab it like that, and then you brush it, and the tangles that kids get in their hair, they form these tiny little circles of just bound up hair. I don't know how.
My younger daughter had like peanut butter in her hair, and there was like a little.
That would probably make it easier to cut. Dried
up barf, like you name it, it's in there.
You got to wash it first, I guess. It's got to be right. Yeah. But I think you can, if it's like wet or oily or whatever, you can like just tease out those knots. You don't have to just take the whole hair. You might as well just get a pair of scissors at that point. You know, just get a wax strip.
Can I? I'm assuming we might read some emails later. I just want to take this opportunity.
Wait, are we going to do? We'll do everything.
Yeah, we'll do a half regular and we'll do half mailbag.
All the segments are coming.
Yeah.
Are we going to do some ad reads as well live?
But the ones that we have to cut for sure.
Speaking of like merch, because that guy did that trout merch. I got a message from Joe Barron. Okay, this guy is spam. It's a spam email, but he is the founder of Amstrad Digital, Lord Sugar's digital agency. If you can fucking believe it, I've laid on
get on this logo for you. Amstrad Digital.
He says
digital marketing services.
Obviously, Amstrad is a big joke. He's like, we had an Amstrad computer back in the day, and it was shit. We've talked about this millions of times, but I just find it. I mean, Lord Alan Sugar is one of these people who is going to use the Lord Sugar title wherever he can, and it's weird that this guy running at Amstrad Digital is called Joe Barron. Do you know what I mean? It's like the most English thing I could think of, and it's just a spam email, but I get a lot of these, right? And I just thought this one was weird because.
Lord Sugar testimonial on the homepage. Amstrad Digital have an exceptionally talented team who've demonstrated their expertise through the results achieved for several businesses under my portfolio. That's what he says. I think that's the extent of his involvement with Amstrad Digital, is that he occasionally.
I think anybody reads that and is really impressed by the words that he's used.
Not if they've seen his Twitter account. Alan Sugar's Twitter account is hilariously bad.
Yeah. I don't think he even wrote that, and it's just meaningless talk anyway. It could be AI generated. It's just nonsense. I just wondered those tips, as a big fan of The Apprentice, would you want to work, would you want to employ Lord Sugar's digital agency to do the Triforce podcast merch?
No, I would rather cut my own head off. I don't want anything to do with Lord Sugar.
You're hired. I like that attitude.
That's the kind of attitude I need.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with that guy at all.
I want smart people who know that they should have nothing to do with me.
Oh man, no, I don't understand. There's a large segment of like part of the world that I don't understand. I'll never understand. I don't want to get involved in, and it's mostly the business world. The stuff that they come up with is insane. Like I don't know how it appeals to anybody. It's got to be a joke, right? People who actually have money must sit in the background and just laugh at everybody all the time, right? For not having as much money as them. They just do whatever they want. Let's just come up with all this shit and laugh at people. That's all it feels like. Like, it just feels like a really, really cruel joke. Oftentimes, maybe I'm wrong, but it's a weird one, isn't it? Like, what the fuck does any of that shit that he said even mean? And to who would it even be important? Like, it's just stupid. It just feels like a total waste of time.
A lot of TV is that, though. It's laughing at people who've had bad tattoos or have weird things, or it's always been that, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. I've got some crappy news. If you want,
are we doing the news already? It's 13 minutes in.
Oh, sorry.
How crap are we talking here?
What else? Sorry. So what else?
So we could chat a bit more. I mean,
it's only been 10 minutes. Don't blow your load too quickly.
Wait until we've got nothing to talk about. Yeah. Right.
Oh
I see. Because this is like a chat killer, is it? This one really.
I just think once you've done it,
our banter.
We lean on it too much.
Is there? Are we live? Can we see like?
Are we live?
People chatting in chat. Do they?
Yes.
Anyone? Shall we take questions from them at some point?
Yeah, we can do that. They said hi, Lewis.
All right, I'm just getting it up.
Is Sips giving The Apprentice a bad time when he watched the series every year?
No, I'm not giving the. Some seasons of the series I will give a bad time. Yeah. The show is fine. I don't really like Alan Sugar though. Lord Sugar, sorry.
His ego is enormous, isn't it?
Yeah, I would be fine if they replaced him now. Like I would have been fine if they replaced him like 10 years ago. Like
who? Who are you gonna get? Meaden?
Anyone?
Deborah Meaden?
No, not Deborah Meaden. I don't know. Anybody. Just don't even have like a figurehead of the show.
Duncan Bannatyne.
Just have a free for all. Like, they don't even know who they're trying to impress or get a job with.
That'd be good. At the end, it's revealed.
Yeah.
The faceless apprentice. So you don't know who the boss is and which company you're going to be working for.
There's tons of people who need work. Like Greg Wallace, he could do it. Do you know what I mean? There's you name it, or get a woman in. There's tons of people on TV who are desperate to host.
I don't think Greg Wallace would be good in that role, honestly.
You don't think he's the right
I think
man
his
for the job?
Sickly co-host on MasterChef might be a bit better. The guy who looks like he's going to puke every time he eats.
This is Greg Wallace's face. Goon.
You need thicker rimmed glasses.
Yeah, he's really just a
thick rimmed
goon.
glasses. Philip Schofield? I think he's been cancelled. Philip Schofield, I don't think will ever work on TV ever again. Hugh Edwards will never work on TV ever again or do anything. I'm surprised he's not going to spend the rest of his life in jail, honestly. Tom Selleck will never do anything ever again.
What happened to Tom Selleck?
Yesterday. He stole water from a fire hydrant to water his avocado farm during a massive water shortage in California.
He
stole like thousands of gallons of water from fire hydrants all over California.
Tom Selleck.
He's being sued or maybe prosecuted. I'm not sure.
This was 2015.
Yeah, have you seen him since? He's done.
The actor has resolved a complaint that alleged he stole water for his avocado ranch during a serious drought.
Yeah,
this was 9 years ago.
Well,
he honestly
tell that to the people who were without water. It probably feels like just yesterday to them.
He reached a settlement.
Did he?
Yeah, this was sorted out a decade ago. Tom Selleck.
Yeah, but he's still not going to work it ever again. Nobody can trust him now.
So
what's he been in since?
Blue Bloods.
What's that?
It's a TV show that's in its 14th season.
What?
So there you go.
I've never heard of it, so it can't be that good. 14 seasons?
14
that one went under the radar? Jesus.
I think it's pretty popular in America.
He's almost 80 years old.
Yeah, he's old as fuck.
Selleck's almost 80 years old? Holy crap. So how old was he in Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking 2? He must have been like in his 60s.
No.
Come
Unless
on.
you think the 80s was 20 years ago.
Wait, but so he would have been our age now at that time.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
I know.
Oh, well, you know.
I wonder if I could be in Look Who's Talking 3. Look Who's Talking 4.
As the baby?
As anyone.
I'd like to be the cast.
I'd want to follow the path of Tom.
I just want Tom Selleck to have to carry me around. He's 80, carrying a 48-year-old baby. Wow. Hey, what have I seen you in lately, Mr. Selleck? Shut up. Stick some bottle in my mouth.
Anyway, sorry about that.
Maybe
Tom Selleck will see the light of day again, but
maybe when the new season of Blue Bloods lands this year, that he is the star of. Yeah,
I don't see Philip Schofield starring in Blue Bloods or any other things, so I think he's probably done, right? So he couldn't be the Apprentice host.
I mean,
Greg Wallace was like almost cancelled, right? Wasn't there like a bunch of shit about Greg Wallace at one point as well?
Well, certainly according to the mailbag, there has been, but I think people just generally don't like him. He comes across as a bit of a twat.
Do you think he's any good at Total War?
Why?
Do you think he could be a competitor?
What, in Total War?
Yeah.
You're just thinking, how could we use Greg next? What about if we got him in Total War? Total War, Warhammer 2, Total War. See, Greg Wallace.
That's apparently what he does on a Saturday, isn't it? He was playing
he
6 hours of Total War. Yeah.
I'd love to see a multiplayer game. Greg Wallace against like a good Total War player, just crushing him. Greg's face going from smiling.
A Total War showdown, and the winner gets to become the host of The Apprentice, or like not the host, the whatever Alan Sugar is in the Apprentice.
He's the boss, mate.
The role, the boss, yeah.
The back stops with me.
You're fired, guy. Yeah.
God, Greg Wallace. I'm going to read this Greg Wallace email since we're talking about him. Greg grew up in the same area he lived and went to school with his daughter, who was the year above. Brackets, very arrogant. Saw him driving the opposite direction in traffic once. I was also in the same class as, and I'm not going to say this name or what they were in, because I think that could potentially be a lawsuit, but this person claims that an actor you will all know was a cokehead in the school toilets and a wanker. So there we go. Sorry for the lack of info there, but there's no way I could say who that was, because I'm pretty sure we could get sued.
Schofield's going to be in a new TV show airing next week, apparently, somebody just said.
Who? Tom Selleck?
No, Philip Schofield.
No way.
Yeah.
Is it called To Catch a Predator?
It might be. I haven't done.
That would be a great episode when he went to his own house.
There's just a mirror there.
He not in the door. Hang on, this place seems familiar.
Oh, fucking hell.
Get this. Why is he back on telly? I thought he was disgraced.
Yeah, well, I thought this was a big turning point for television. Finally, we get rid of this asshole. We never have to see him again, but he's I don't understand.
Back. He has a Instagram account.
He's like reoccurring diarrhea.
No comments.
Can't get rid of this guy.
Dude, there's no comments on his posts.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe he's moderating them, though.
No, his recent posts, they have 70, 80k likes. One comment, no comments.
They're all moderated then.
Yeah, I think they've been turned off. Let me see if we go back in time. I don't know how long
ago. They're like comments approved only or whatever.
Maybe.
So he goes through and finds a nice one.
Yeah, that's literally what's happening.
There's only one.
Philip, I love you so much, and I think you're so good, and I can't wait to see your new show. Those are the ones that he's approving, and all the other ones where
I'm suspicious. There is a surprising lack of likes on these posts. All right, some of them. This guy has 2.7 million followers and like hardly any likes on his posts. It is terrible. His fucking PR team.
Yogscast.
I want to meet somebody
in real life who
follows Philip Schofield on social media. Who would bother? I know everybody's going to say, well, who would follow you fucking 3 boomers as well on social media? And that's fine. But I would love to meet somebody who actually follows Philip Schofield on social media. I want to get inside the mind of somebody who follows Philip Schofield on social media.
I think the people that watched that show with him and who was that hot lass that was on the show with him? Was it Holly Willoughby or was it someone else?
Yeah.
Fit. So if you're watching that, I guess you're watching it during the day. People like Philip Schofield because he's like your son that actually calls occasionally. Do you know what I mean? Like a son that is actually there for you and calls and checks up on you and does things for you, rather than most sons who are just call maybe once a week. I call my mum about once a week and check she's all right. Philip Schofield's there every day. Hi, Mum, just dropping off some roses I thought you'd like. That's the vision of the good son. That was Schofield. Now it turns out he's a predator. So I think they've maybe... I don't know if they've unfollowed.
He's going to be back on TV.
All this woke nonsense. I'm not cancelling Phillips. I think he's wonderful. That's what they'll be saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please.
Well, people like
just
what they like.
Find some reason. Find a loophole. Let's get rid of this guy once and for all. We don't need him. There's all sorts of other people that can do his job. We don't need him back.
Loads of people waiting in the wings. Get Greg Wallace in.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna be the new Claire Balding, but he's just like fucking in everything.
Yeah,
I'm behind that for sure.
You want Greg in more things?
Oh, I don't watch them anyway, so it's not going to bother me.
Generate more emails for the mailbag regarding Greg Wallace. Just remember, if you have a good real-life spot of Greg Wallace, let us know. We've had some cracking Greg Wallace-related emails.
Yeah, some really good emails in about Greg Wallace out in the wild.
About G-Dub.
Really, really interesting ones. Hey, I started watching this show recently called Industry. Have you guys seen it?
No. I'll look it up. What is this?
It's a HBO, BBC... there's 3 seasons of it. The third season's airing in America right now. And
it's got Kit Harington in. It's like a business thing.
It's a business thing. It's like a softcore porno as well. It's the raunchiest show I've ever seen before in my life.
Do you guys when
people are constantly sucking each other off, and it's insane all the time.
I don't like it. I hate seeing it. As soon as there's a sex scene on telly, I just put my phone out. I'm busy doing something else. It's just boring.
It's a surprising amount of dick in the show as well. You see a lot of people's dicks, and apparently in season 2 you see an erect penis. I think
that's against the law.
Yeah. No, it has been cut. I think it says
the BBC cut it. Yeah, I think it was aired in America, but not the BBC had to cut the erect.
Just like
penis.
I said, this is what I said a few years ago, and people poo-pooed it. They said, "Pyrian, you're mad." I said. In the next couple of generations, it will be expected for hardcore pornography to be in feature films. I guarantee you. Everybody will be fucking on screen, and that'll be like an action movie will have like the action sequences, some character shit, and then there'll just literally be a sex scene where they're actually banging nuts on her face, and that's like one of the key scenes in the film somehow. That'll be in the fucking trailer, I guarantee it. It's coming. It's coming. I guarantee you it's on its way.
Yeah, and that'll be what everyone's talking about, and that's why because everything again, it's always like the things that are closest to not being allowed.
Well, now hold on, it's not a slippery slope fallacy. It's not a slippery slope fallacy. I said as well. And again, people doubted me that when the Super Mario Brothers movie did well and the Marvel movie was on the slide,
leaked out a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, hang on, all it's going to be is video game movies. That's going to be the next big thing. I fucking guarantee that's literally what's happening. Look at his video game movies in production.
Yeah.
In production. You've seen this?
Movies
it's insane.
Or TV shows.
This is video game movies in 2024 and beyond. Sonic 3, Minecraft movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Street Fighter, The Super Mario Brothers 2, Legend of Zelda, Ghost of Tsushima, Until Dawn, The Sims, Gears of War, Mortal Kombat 2, Return to Silent Hill, Death Stranding, Days Gone, Dredge, Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2.
Movie?
Yep, Stray, which is about that cat, BioShock, Space Channel 5, Comic Zone, and then TV shows, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, Arcane Season 2, Last of Us, Fallout, Witcher, God of War, Gears of War, Devil May Cry, Twisted Metal, Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, and Castlevania. Don't tell me I'm wrong. It's coming. It's just going to be video games for fucking ever.
Listen, this show Industry is quite good though. If you can get past the raunchiness, or maybe you embrace the raunchiness, I don't know. But it's good. It's about it's a businessy one, but it's about these like grad students who are starting their careers at a market exchange sort of firm. Big money, big clients. They do a lot of FX trading and shit like that. And it's like a very intense environment, and everybody swears at each other a lot and yells at each other. and then after work they go to all of these clubs and just bang each other all the time and jizz on each other too. There's actually a scene where you see jizz on someone.
It sounds like the Jingle Jam.
I've never seen that on TV before. I've never seen jizz on a person on TV before. I don't think.
In a TV show? Wait, there's jizz in something about Mary. He nuts in her hair by mistake.
Yeah, right? But this was like, I mean,
that was like
you only see the sort of petrified hair in that. You don't actually see like the puddle of jizz. But in this, there was jizz on a man's chest.
Yeah.
Nice.
He just had jizz on his chest.
So it's like Succession with more sex.
Oh god, yeah. Succession was
a little bit like that. It doesn't have the whole Murdoch kind of angle to it, though. You know, it's more like
with the patriarch.
Yeah.
Is it funny though? Is it funny?
Is industry funny?
Yeah.
It's kind of sad actually. There's a lot of cocaine. It's just like really degenerate people who work in a really intense environment. But
I see.
I don't know if you're meant to feel like this, but I always just feel like almost like sorry for all of them because it's like such a shitty. They're like at the start of the series, I don't want to spoil it, but like somebody like works themselves to death, basically doesn't get any sleep, does like all these drugs to stay awake and like, you know, do TPS reports or whatever, and then dies because they have a heart condition or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's just like. I guess
if I had access
that kind of
to
stuff
I would
happens
do
in
the
real
same.
life. I guess
I would stay up all
sad,
night playing Satisfactory and cocaine myself to death,
just
and then just die covered in my own jizz.
Wait, someone in chat thinks that really degenerate people who work in a really intense environment is like the Yogscast. There's nothing intense about the Yogs. We started today at 11. All right.
Yeah.
If we were being intense, we would start at 5 in the morning and we would stream for 15 hours. We'd be fucking tooting constantly. We'd just be ready. Eyes bugging out of our head, bloodshot. We gotta keep making content. This is an hour and a half, and then we chill.
Dude, like I feel like an environment is more intense when you have to deal with like outside clients and stuff, you know? And especially when there's a lot of money involved. You know, like if you're doing like a trade for somebody worth $500,000 and it goes wrong or whatever, you're definitely going to be doing a lot of cocaine that day to try to like cope with the you know, the stress and the fallout of it. I've never had to do that in 12 years of YouTube and streaming.
No.
Not
do you reckon it's to do with the I think like these industries though, and people generally, they do get very passionate and into something, especially where it's like, oh, suddenly I can make a load of money. It's almost like this is my chance, right? And people have been waiting for it, and they push themselves and they overdo it, and I don't know, like for a long time. I guess sometimes there's this idea that if I just hammer it now, make loads of money, I can just give up. You know, it's like a pro footballer. I've done my 10 years of like grind. I can just do like whatever they do now, appear on fucking Celebrity MasterChef and stuff.
Fun though, isn't it? It's fun. What we do is fun.
Well, speak for yourself. I take it very seriously, and I don't get much joy out of it. It's just something I got to do, you know. Oh, do you need me? Oh, sorry, I have to go and do something really quick. I'll be right back.
This happens every podcast.
Right, no,
it wouldn't be a podcast without Sips having to do something dad related. To do with a plumber, a builder, a boiler man, the garbage, the someone's dog has escaped. There's a ball in the garden. There's a kid. One of them's puked. One of them has like fallen over. One of them has like not done their homework. Or or they've been sent home from school. Or
it's always the way.
This is the bit where me and Pickaxe just wait silently.
No, we talk. I'm looking for something. How do you find? Oh, here we go. Playlists, favorites. No, don't do that. I just want to look at it. How do I just look at the playlist? Playlist? No, don't play. Don't play. Oh, how do you just look at it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I have a favorites on YouTube. All my old favorites. Do you have a favorites list on YouTube?
No.
You don't favorite videos?
No.
Huh. How do you look at stuff you liked again?
I don't.
What do you mean?
I just don't do that.
What does that mean?
Well, I just don't do that. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I guess I don't want to watch a video twice. Like it's like a detective movie or a book. I'm not going to read it twice. I know the solution. I know what's happened in it.
So many playlists.
Well, you've got loads of playlists.
Yeah, I've got a favorites playlist that has 1,308 videos in, and I sometimes go through that and look at old favorites again. I've got a playlist called Full Movies, which is full films that you can find on YouTube. A lot of them are very old.
But you've seen them.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them I'm like, oh, I'll watch that. And if I'm stuck somewhere, and let's say Netflix is down, but I can get on YouTube, I'll watch it. I've got documentaries, which is just interesting documentaries that I keep. I also keep them here so I can share them with people. I'm like, oh, I saw a good documentary about that, and then I'll share them with someone else. I've got lots of songs that I could only find on YouTube, not on Spotify or anywhere else. I've saved those.
I'm interested in the documentaries playlist.
Are you? Interesting. Why?
Well,
because it's a good idea. How about this is a playlist?
Interest you would probably interest me, but then again,
the entirety of World at War, one of the greatest documentaries ever made. You seen that?
I think so.
Okay, all right. So this is on my documentaries playlist. I'll tell you what's on it. How Burger King Lost to Wendy's.
Oh,
that's a 51-minute one.
That sounds like a podcast that I could listen to.
Yeah. Making sense of VR chat. The metaverse people actually like, so that's something.
I don't need to watch that.
Stay Alert, Stay Alive, The Techniques and Mechanics of Arrest. Which is Arrest. So 1960s, 1970s, I think 1960s. A lot of these old movies used to be made that they would show to young police officers.
Okay.
They'd be like, all right, everybody sit down. We got a little film for you guys. John, you got the projector working? Okay, all right, we're going to start it up here in a sec. This one's called Stay Alert, Stay Alive. Now pay attention, you might learn something. And it's like a video where the guy goes, it's always a guy in a suit. Hello, I'm so-and-so from the FBI. When arresting a criminal, there are some things to remember. And it'll show like a copper doing it the wrong way and getting blasted in the face. And it'll show it the right way and him like getting him on the ground and the guy giving up. It's like how to arrest people in a safe way. Because we think of like, this kind of stuff is all learned the hard way, I guess, right? So that's quite interesting. A bunch of Cold War training documentaries that they show to British Army, which are really, really interesting. A video for the police in the UK called Anything Can Happen. It's from 1973.
Okay.
And it's just two bobbies on the beat, just really struggling with a bad day and weird stuff happening. This
sounds cracking.
Dude, these are all good. This is just my playlist of documentaries. A documentary about life on a US nuclear submarine.
Oh.
There is When Blackmailing a Drug Lord Goes Terribly Wrong, which is worth a watch.
Nice. What are all these on? Netflix?
No, these are all on YouTube. This is a playlist I put together.
Oh, just on YouTube,
yeah.
Right, okay.
A couple of Jenny Nicholson videos, the one about the last BronyCon and, of course, the Star Wars Hotel one. There's one called So You Want to Be a Gambler, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but people used to sell...
Gaming table.
It was not gaming table. This guy was American, not the gaming table. He's talking about the slot machines and how to make money on the slot machines. Right. And you would send these guys, just send me $19.99 to the following PO box, and I'll send you my VHS, So You Want to Be a Gambler. 2! And it's like tips for how to make money in Vegas. There is a documentary about the Lehman Brothers going bust. There is the history of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out World Records, which is a 2-hour video that is a great watch. That's Summoning Salt. He's fantastic if you haven't seen of him. What Does It Mean to Be Alive in Profound Isolation, which is an interesting video. An old country buffet training video, which is like how to greet the customer when you're cutting up the carvery at the buffet doing the meat. Mr. Rogers
I love the idea of this stuff.
Dude, it's so interesting.
This is almost as good as my playlist of all those videos of people crawling into like really, really narrow caves and cracks and stuff. Hundreds of videos in this playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might put a video on while eating sort of guy. So when I'm having lunch, I will generally sit at my computer because I'm just having a sandwich or something, or maybe a bowl of noodles. I'll pop a YouTube vid on that's like half an hour long so I can eat that and then finish it off before I do anything. In the evening, I'm very much an eat in front of the telly guy because I've only got a couple of hours, really. I cook dinner, we eat dinner, I'm watching telly for a bit, and then I start streaming again at 8 if I'm working in the evening. So, you know, it's like I like to have something to watch, and I don't just want to watch YouTube vids compilation of like footballers scoring long range goals or home runs or whatever. I'd like to watch something that's a documentary that at least teaches me something because they're very well made. A lot of these are very, very well made.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. I've seen some decent documentaries on YouTube before. I don't watch a ton of them, but the ones that I have seen have been pretty good. You know, like well put together, lots of information and stuff. More so than you would have gotten from like. It depends on the subject, right? Some subjects just there's not a lot of information about. You have to really, really, really go digging. And I feel like some YouTube documentaries are better at doing that than some of the bigger documentaries. But then some of the bigger documentaries are very good too.
I just think that in general, the kind of documentaries that we see on like Netflix or HBO or whatever, they're amazing. Yeah. Like the Fire Festival documentary, stuff like that.
I didn't watch that one, actually.
Oh, dude, you've got to see it. It's so good. Especially because they're doing a Fire Festival 2. Insanely. I think they're doing it because they know they can sell the rights for another Netflix documentary, but there you go. That kind of stuff is quite broad sort of appeal, I guess. And it's like a stuff that most people would find interesting. Yeah. What I love about YouTube documentaries is they will be about stuff super fucking niche, like fucking Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on the NES and the history of world records in that game. That's never going to make it onto Netflix.
No.
But I'll spend 2 hours watching that.
Things like the history of like StarCraft or the history
of
Fallout or maybe they might do a Fallout documentary now that the TV series has been really big, but before the TV series,
I didn't even know if they would do it then.
Yeah.
I think most people would be like an hour and a half about what? And it's all clips of like old games.
Yeah.
And moments that you and I would might remember.
Yeah.
But the average person could be like, I need way more context.
Yeah.
So I think most documentaries have to be relatively broad because the more niche it is, the more you need to come preloaded with some kind of knowledge. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they have to fucking explain, this is a video game console. Some people will be like, oh, what's that? So, it's like, I think the more broad appeal stuff is much simpler. But YouTube allows people to make very, very, very niche documentaries because you'll find them. People will find them.
And also, it's fascinating to watch someone who knows a lot about something or is interested in something because it's really I don't know, it's like they're clearly interested in it and they're trying to share that interest with you and almost give you the highlights of all the good bits. Even in those like Jenny Nichols videos, they're 4 hours, some of them hugely long, but like kind of just very watchable, right? It's like very compellingly, it's not boring, right?
No,
that's the thing.
I mean, but I think a lot of the successful YouTube commentaries are kind of personality driven. Like, she's very likable and charismatic, and she's kind of sweet and funny, and it's nice to just hear her yapping away. I didn't watch the whole thing in one sitting, but it was just a nice, relaxing thing to watch that was also interesting and funny, and at times really cringy. So I really liked it. But you'd never get anything like that. You'd have to boil it down to a segment on a TV show. You couldn't pitch that to executives. It's a 4-hour documentary about the Star Wars hotel. They'd be like, no way.
Yeah, that would never get made, right?
Yeah.
And that's the power of YouTube and these platforms is that I don't think even the people who make them think they'll get 4 million views or whatever, right? I'm just doing this because this is the way I want to make it and this is how long it takes, I want to deep dive into everything and get it all done, and this is how you could make it a 10-episode series, each one 40 minutes, but I guess until you start making it, you don't know how long it's going to be, right? I think the freedom that these platforms give means that you can do more organic and naturally made things rather than things that are as locked down and scripted. Mm-hmm. But the push is these days really into quick, lazy, short form, like as quick as possible, right? It's always been.
Except for that documentary about the girl who was found dead in the water tank above that hotel. It was like 6 episodes.
Elisa Lamb.
Yeah, yeah. It was really interesting story.
Wasn't she just mentally ill?
She was. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's still
like it wasn't the big mystery people thought.
No,
it
wasn't a huge mystery. No,
it could still have.
It was a mystery until they found her and realized what happened.
Yeah.
Much like anything, but 6 episodes for that was too much.
But I think I've seen more than one documentary on that as well. It's not like it wasn't just one. This is why I don't keep things as my favourites, P-Flax, because another one will come around. Do you know what I mean? If it's good enough, I'll see it again.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Know what I'm saying?
My YouTube recommended right now is all Disney video. It's because
you don't have a separate account for your kids.
My daughter just goes on my iPad sometimes and just watches over and over and over again the like sing-along songs from Disney movies. Let It Go. And
do you guys not watch Nile Red? Do you ever watch Nile Red?
No, I don't know.
Nile Red. He's a chemist.
Oh.
I'll give you an example. His videos are super long. No, his voice is quite soothing.
She wouldn't like that. I don't think. I don't even think I would.
This is a video 3 weeks ago, already 7.7 million views. Making an atomic trampoline. It's an hour-long video where he tries to make this special metal that's bouncy, and it's like how he does it. He tends to put a video out every few months, turning styrofoam into cinnamon candy. Making bulletproof wood, turning plastic gloves into hot sauce, stuff like that. So he does stuff using chemistry and all this crazy equipment that he's got.
He turns plastic gloves into hot sauce?
Yeah, he found a way to do it. He's brilliant. And really watchable. It's an hour long
not just melting rubber gloves and saying, here's some hot sauce.
No, dude, he literally chemically turns it into hot sauce.
Yeah, that's how chemistry works.
He breaks this down with this and then rinses this off and then adds that and then blah, blah, blah. And eventually he turns them into hot sauce so that there's some chemical in the gloves that is also in hot sauce in a different form or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very clever and really funny because sometimes it goes wrong. But his stuff is really good. Oh, his delivery is I thought I've recommended it to you before, Lulu, I'm sure, and you were like, yeah, I'll check it out, which means I'll never check it out.
Well, the thing is, you know what it's like. These platforms are designed to hook you in to something. Like TikTok is the pinnacle of it, but they know how much you're watching, they know what keeps you interested, and they know who you are, they know how old you are, what gender you are, where you live, like what you like, and as a result they can show you stuff that you will click on, and as a result I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see this Lego City, oh yeah, I want to see this Jurassic Park supercut, oh yeah, I want to see this whatever it is, Warhammer thing,
right?
Mine is just full of the whole front page is like 10 different things. It's like a bit of the Daily Show, a bit of some epic history battles,
right?
Like I just it's and there's a spiff video.
I've got I've got lots of court stuff because I watch quite a lot of American court because a lot of it is recorded. It's really interesting to see. So I've got one of those. I've got something. There's a new guy I follow called Wine King, and which is close, but he's a wine king. He's like
Asmongold.
He's a South Korean guy who's a wine expert and speaks French, and he goes to French restaurants and they treat him like shit. And he speaks French to them, and they suddenly act nice. That's the gist of the videos.
I see.
Stuff about nuclear engineers, because so here's something. This is pretty dark, but I don't know if you guys noticed this. Obviously, we're in September. The anniversary of 9/11 was not long ago.
Yeah.
And so YouTube keeps recommending me the unedited footage of the morning news from a channel from prior to the attacks happening and the aftermath, and then watching live and reactions and all the rest of it. Yes. And they're like 4 or 5 hour uncut videos. And I watched one the other day. I was like, let me see if I remember it the way I remember it, if it was that way. Because I was on honeymoon with Mrs. F. We were in Bali. It was the evening, turn on the TV just to see what's on the news. We didn't get many English language channels. I think CNN was the only one that we got, really. And
your honeymoon?
Yeah. I got married. Yeah, I got married 1st of September 2001. So we're into the honeymoon, and it's great. We're having a lovely time. But of course, 9/11 happens, and
it didn't ruin your honeymoon.
Of course it did.
It didn't ruin the honeymoon.
It happened in Bali.
No, it didn't. No, the next year there was a bombing. That was the Bali bombing. The year after our honeymoon.
Oh, so it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. But literally, American tourists who just arrived were flying home immediately from Bali because they were like, shit, we got to go home. But the crazy thing is I was watching it on TV, and people have to remember terrorism in the 20th century was bad, but it wasn't what we remember it being, because it used to be things like terrorists have hijacked a plane.
Yeah, terrorists have hijacked planes or bomb planes.
Right.
In
but
the 80s,
they have put a bomb somewhere.
Plane hijacking and bombings.
And I mean, if you look up terrorism in the 70s, it was every fucking week a plane was getting hijacked. It was such a meme. All these movies had hijackings in. Like fucking Dirty Harry, whichever Magnum Force has a fucking hijacking. A whole bunch from hijack, terrorist. A lot of bombings and stuff. But they weren't suicide bombings. And that was the thing, is that when 9/11 happened, I was watching on TV, and I turned on the TV, and I was like, oh shit, the World Trade Center's on fire. And they were like, a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. Everybody thinks it's an accident at this point. And they're on the phone on this, it was the morning show, or Today, the Today program. They're on the phone with this lady. She's like, yeah, I saw it happen. It's crazy. There's fire engines everywhere. And they're asking her what she saw. A second plane hits while she's on the phone with them. She's like, oh my God, a second plane just hit. And you see, because they've got the live feed, the big explosion, and she's like, oh, they must be having trouble with the air traffic control today. Like, her first thought was, this must be a terrible double accident. And I thought the same thing. I was like, maybe the smoke from the first building fire, but it was just so inconceivable. It was so inconceivable that it was deliberate. So I just thought, watching those videos, you can see they had no idea what was coming. Nobody could cope with this on live TV. It was crazy.
Yeah.
A different time. Like, you're right about like hijackings and things. Like, when was the last time we heard about hijacking? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just not news anymore, is it? Or not possible anymore? Or not?
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly hijacking, I can't even remember the last time there was one, or even a plane being bombed. I can't remember the last time, because I think because it happened often enough in the 70s and the 80s that they clamped down on airport security big time at the time. But then the other big push for airline and airport security was after 9/11, right? That was after 9/11 was when you couldn't take water through security. You had to take your shoes off.
No.
There was that one guy who had a bomb in his shoe.
Richard Reed, the shoe bomber.
9/11.
So Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, was when they said no more shoes. You have to take your shoes and put it through the scanner. The water thing was another plot that they thought they'd uncovered, where these guys had found a way to take 2 bottles of water in that were not water, and you could supposedly mix these chemicals in the bathroom, and then using heat you could cause an explosion. Apparently it was super unlikely, but that was when they started saying no water. Like, they kept adding shit on. Like, initially it was just full screening, all bags, like everything, and
bags couldn't go right through, right? Like
there was none of that.
After 9/11, you had to, for connecting flights, you had to pick up your bags and recheck them in for your next
all of
flight
that
and everything.
But
that's
you used
starting
to just turn up.
to ease now. Like, you can now. We went away last year and our bags went right through. And I remember even at the time we were like, "Really? They're going to go right through?" Like, we couldn't believe it. They're like, "Yeah, no, they're going to go right through. They'll be in Jersey when you get back." And we were like, "Wow."
Yeah.
It's so much better when that happens, but it's just been so long since it has happened, because they really clamp down on all.
Have you ever had a bag? You guys ever had a bag where, when it's coming through the X-ray scanner and then it's got the naughty conveyor belt where it gets shunted off, and someone goes, "Whose bag is this?" Yeah. You have to go forward, and they're like, "Oh, you've packed 17 gallons of water."
It's happened to me a couple of times, and it's always been when my bag was like ready to burst open. Like, there's just too much stuff in there. And then normally that is because I forgot. Oh, yeah, I left a bottle of water in there or something like that. But
I had Carcassonne the board game in my backpack.
I've never had. I don't want to jinx myself either, but I've never had issues with losing luggage or anything like that.
Carcassonne the board game was because the blocks of cards looked like in my bag. He turned around the screen and said, "This is what we saw." And it was 2 solid blocks and loads of wires, because that was my vape charging thing and all the batteries. And I love the way he's like, "Oh, that looks like a bomb. Call him over, sir. Have you got a bomb in your bag?" That's essentially what they're doing. Because if I could just go, yeah, and just punch it or whatever, and it blows up.
You know the areas where you go through like nothing to declare, and you can see all the tables and stuff. Those TV shows, where the guy's heroin is like leaking into his inner ass, like it's exploded, and he can't even stand upright while they're searching his bags. Those places are always packed during those shows, but they're completely empty.
Never seen anyone in them.
I've never seen anyone in that area of an airport ever in my life.
It's deserted,
and I've traveled a lot. Like I've never seen anybody in there doing anything.
I think in the last 10 years of travel, I've seen maybe one person with their bag up and someone going through it. I've never been stopped. I've never seen anybody stopped. I've never even seen. Occasionally, there's a guy on a stool looking bored. Yeah, but I'm like, what's the deal here? Like, is there no one cares? Have they? Is the security
so
certain
tight? Flights or something? I don't know.
I think they probably profile it pretty heavily. But I also think they scan the shit out of the bag somewhere, right? They must be detecting a bunch of this stuff elsewhere.
I think they know what they're looking for.
Yeah, they know what they're looking for.
And very occasionally you'll get spot checked, but I've had it once because in Jersey they have like nothing to declare, but they have like the officers are just standing there.
Yeah.
And you walk by.
Yeah.
One time in like 20 years, they stopped me and they're like, "Oh, hey, where are you coming from?" And ask me like a couple of like really basic questions, and then we're just like, "Yeah, okay, go ahead." Once.
Pop to the loo. I'm also going. And then when I come back, we can do the mailbag if you guys want.
Okay, sure.
Oh, we'll do Lose News first, and then mailbag.
I popped away before, not to go I did go to the bathroom, but I didn't actually go to the toilet while I was in the bathroom. My shower is leaking, and there's a guy here replacing our shower unit because of the leaking.
It would be something like that.
It looks like hell in there. You should see how much water has leaked in behind the tiles. There were tiles fixed onto plywood, and you could tell that it was leaking because all the grouting in between the tiles is starting to come off. The tiles are starting to threaten to come off, but also there's water leaking into my kitchen, which is below the bathroom. So he's come in, he's taken all the tiles out, getting it ready to put this new unit in. You should see all the rotten wood behind. Like, it's really gross. It's all like it's like all soggy and stinks and ugh. Never buy a house. It's never. Just don't do it. Because I feel like if you rent somewhere, it's just someone else's problem, right? You just say, the bathroom is like hell. Can you fix it? And then they probably will fix it, or maybe not, depending who your landlord is. But then you could just get another place, right?
Well, this is it. Like, I'm still renting, and I think there's a number of reasons why. Like, I sort of assumed that this thing wouldn't work out. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, the Yogscast not going to work out. I'll rent because I don't want to stay in Bristol, And then, then I was like, oh well, buying a house, a lot of faff, and then just things happened.
It's a lot of faff.
Just didn't want to do it. But now I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about looking at places. Finally.
Buy a place that's just been built and hope that it has been built properly. Don't buy an old place because it's not.
What does old mean?
Well, I think my house was built like maybe in the 60s, and it's not so bad, but there's some weird shit like in all of the bedrooms. If you go outside of the house, you can see that there's like plumbing on the outside of the house coming from every bedroom, because I think when the house was built, every room had a sink in it.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't built that long ago, but apparently it was a thing.
Maybe that was a hot thing in the 60s.
You could just wash your dick and your balls in your sink in your room.
Maybe it was like a brothel.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe you live in a.
It's weird. Yeah.
You ever hear like a ghost?
I don't know if it's a UK thing. Like I've never come across anything like that in Canada. But no. I mean, most of the houses that we lived in when I lived in Canada, or neighborhoods, like, were built in like the 80s. So I guess maybe it was past the point of everyone having a sink in their room. I don't know.
My house was built in 1905.
Did it have sinks in all the rooms?
No, it didn't even have a toilet in the house when it was built. They had an outhouse.
So yours was built so long ago
1905
that there wasn't even any indoor plumbing at the time.
Hardly any.
Right.
Hardly any. They had, let me think, 1, 2, 3 fireplaces downstairs, and I think 1 upstairs as well. And it's had a lot of work on all the houses around.
When did you buy your house? What year did you buy your house?
Early 2000s.
Right. Okay.
Early 2000s.
And when you moved in, did you have to have a lot of work done to it? Did you buy it from an old couple who still had the old electric system and stuff?
No.
It wasn't like that.
We bought it from a lady who hadn't had it long because her and her husband got it and then they got divorced. So she was selling.
Did another disaster happen on the day you bought it, like the tsunami or like fucking
can't remember something
bombings or something?
Probably.
I'm wondering if all like landmark events in your life.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I go somewhere, don't go there the next year. Okay.
Right.
Went Bali the next year, the Bali bombing. We went to Turkey the next year. Somebody blew themselves up outside the Hagia Sophia, that square there. I don't think I went to New York in 2000, but I may well have done. I'm bad news, dude.
You're like
follows
a
me around.
I
think it's like Final Destination. It's going to catch up with me sooner or later.
Right. It's like it's a year behind.
Instead of it happening the year after, it's going to happen the moment you're there. It's gonna
align. Copenhagen is next.
He's good. Yeah.
So keep your eyes on it. That's what I'm saying.
Copenhagen's.
All right. News me.
Oh, we want to do the thing now, do you? Sam puts these together. Do you remember that Skyrim grandma on YouTube?
Maybe she's
Shirley
not.
Curry.
Is it the same one who's decided she's not going to do gaming videos anymore?
Yeah, she's 88.
Right.
She's been making Skyrim videos for 9 years since she was a more youthful 79.
Wait, she's just playing it.
She plays Skyrim and makes videos of her playing Skyrim.
Shirley Curry.
She has made 2,300 videos in the last 9 years on Skyrim.
I made more than that.
And
I made more videos than that.
She has become a beloved figure to an audience of 1.3 million subscribers. And it's enormously sad news that the internet's favourite grandma is no longer making Skyrim videos.
Hold on a sec.
She said she is fed up with Skyrim.
That's fair enough. But let me just say something. Her videos get like 3K views, so don't be making out but where's her fan base? 3K views. This lady's fucking grinding and grinding. She's spending the last few years on this earth making content for people. 2.4K views, 2.3, 2.1. Hardcore fans. I'm just saying, if you can't come out and say you're a fan of Shirley Curry if you haven't watched her fucking stuff. That's disgraceful.
I think it's possible that she actually would prefer just doing the vlogs now as well.
Yeah, well, her vlogs do great, dude.
I think the vlogs do better than YouTube's changing. She's got to change, Change with the times, Shirley Curry. Don't do an episodic Skyrim playthrough. Good for you. Get a podcast. Or whatever.
Skyrim episode 1, Catamet. This is 9 years ago.
Yeah.
15-minute vid, good length. No intro.
No.
Just cut straight to her in a blizzard.
Competition, so I'm not going to be commenting on it. I don't want to give her the publicity.
So she's your direct competition to you because you're also an old
demographics.
I'm coming for you, Sips. I want your viewers.
Get away from me, Shirley.
I'm playing Skyrim. I'm going to move on to Fallout next. I'm going to play Fallout next.
1,500 hours of Satisfactory.
Power Wash Simulator. Let's file that up. Power Wash Simulator.
Oh man!
Have you played? You know what? You would like Abiotic
so hard.
Abiotic Factor. You should play that. That's really fun. That's really good.
I heard it's really good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, you do it with Justin or something.
Yeah, don't do it alone.
Maybe us three could play it together. We have to find a game that the three of us can play together nicely.
I've played it a bit, so I could probably help.
Not something that we all get pissed off at.
I kind of got carried through it by Ped, who'd played it before. I think that's sort of how it works. It's a bit of a cryptic maze, but it's good. It's basically like a survival game, but instead of in the open world, you're in like a Half-Life style, massive underground.
Imagine you're one of the scientists.
Facility.
You're one of the scientists at Black Mesa in Half-Life 1 when it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
And Gordon Freeman is not there to save you. You got to get out yourself. That's the setup.
Yeah,
right.
Fun.
So the graphics look like arse, and the voice acting is terrible, but it's a really fun game. Anyway, more news.
Next one. Lego news.
Okay.
Okay. There is a new Lego Leia minifig, right?
What?
So there's been multiple
Leia. The Princess Leia, you mean?
Princess Leia minifig.
I see.
And
New
there was
Lego Leia.
There was previously there was a Leia slave girl minifig. Okay?
She shows less skin, and people are being weird about it. Is this headline?
They've apparently given her slightly bigger shorts. And
why is she? She hasn't got lipstick on. She's smirking, and her hair is. She's got a braid on the front of her.
Okay.
She's just slightly less leg.
That's so Lego have announced this $500 Jabba's barge.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Now
$500 for a Lego set?
Yeah, dude, it's not for kids, is it? This is for sweaty old men who want to see naked Princess Leia. Just give them what they want, Lego.
But it's more that
there's got to be better places to find that than Lego.
Yes, there is. But I mean,
but they get to hold her. I get to hold her.
But
you're my slave girl now, Leia. Get on the barge. I paid $500 for this. You better show me some skin. Get on my barge. Shake it till you make it, baby. Come on. My lightsaber's ready.
Oh man.
Yes, it's a hulking set. I can't say it's the most iconic thing, but they've got to scrape the barrel. They've done all the other stuff. They've done TIE fighters.
Yeah, I think the barge was pretty iconic, dude. Come on.
Jabba's barge is just a big old orange blob.
It was a memorable scene.
The opening of Return of the Jedi is the big action sequence at the start of Rutsch. Come on.
I don't know if the Jabba's barge for me has been like that much of a memory trigger. Like
not a true fan. Not a true
fan.
The
Sarlacc pit. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the whole scene.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they've done a Lego Sarlacc pit before, but do you know what I mean? They're running out of stuff. It's only 3
I do know what you mean, yeah.
I mean, they're like, what next? What next are they going to do out of those movies? Some forgotten bit?
Corridor. Some corridor
are they going to do
base.
fucking Obi-Wan's caravan? Like, what's the deal? Like, what's the next fucking
Did he have a caravan?
Wherever he lives. He lives
I'd
in
love
like,
it if he had a little caravan. That would have been amazing. Little caravan on bricks.
I mean, fuck.
Are they
going to do like the skeletons of like the uncle and auntie like outside the fucking houses? Like what's
Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru?
Where's the next like? Do you know what I mean? Where does this? I'm just saying like they're Gulp Shitto's RV. Thank you, chat. Yes,
Gulp Shitto.
Someone.
That is such a Star Wars name.
Gulp Shitto.
Obi-Wan divorced.
What's that famous bad one? Tom and Ben are always talking about it. His name is like Badman Nasty Guy or something.
Yeah, like Elon Sleazebagano.
Sleazebagano, fucking so pathetic. George Lucas is a genius. He's a cunt.
Anyway. The thing is, when you overanalyze these movies to death, which the
overanalyze.
Well,
analysis is it for Sleazebagano?
There's just no joy to find in the Star Wars universe anymore. It's been ruined. The whole thing.
The original trilogies on such a play compared to other media, right? Like every single scene, every single character in the background has been analyzed, and given a name, and they don't do that to. I don't know, other things like Ghostbusters or whatever, right? Like, or these things. And I'm sure there'll be tons of... It's just
meant to be a bit of fun.
But
people always have to just take it so far, And you get these people who are just complain about it all the time. It's like, just fucking move on. There's other dumb shit you can watch. Like, who cares, man? Like, it's Star Wars. Like, it was all right. Like, I liked it when I was a kid. I'm nostalgic for it to some extent, but like just move on. Who cares? Find something else.
Thing is, if you
There's
love
something
the
else
originals
out there
that
that'll
much,
make you happy.
But if you love the originals that much, they're still there. You know what I mean? I mean, they're still there. What annoyed me was when they re-released them now on Disney, you can't watch the original version. It's the Lucas CGI fucked with one, which is annoying.
Yeah.
And I would like it if they... I just want to watch the originals. But
you get a VHS box set. They're still kicking around.
Get the VHS box set, dummy. Come on.
Just get a VHS box set. You put it next to your...
going to become cool.
Your collector, your MASH, the complete series collector's edition MASH box set.
Hawkeye and Pierce.
Yeah.
As a Lego. There's MASH Lego would be fucking hype. I'd get that. Did you say when's chess going to become cool?
No, like tapes. I mean, it's obviously LPs. There's tons of market stalls and shops even selling LPs in Bristol, and even like I think some of my friends, we were out the other day, and actually people bought some. I was like, who buys these? And I was like, oh my god, everyone apparently buys LPs.
So we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, I told you about going to Bournemouth and going to HMV, and it was all vinyl.
I get it, but
LPs,
like. When is tapes? When are people bringing back tape decks?
The problem
is it's fucking annoying. Even
they
when
bad.
they were big, the
sound quality shit.
When your Walkman started to lose battery, or the batteries were starting to weaken or fail, it would just eat up your tapes, and it was a real nightmare winding them back up and stuff.
It was a bad format.
Sucked.
What about Laserdisc?
They were good.
Do you ever have a tape melt in your car because it was so hot in your car, and then it's all warped when you're listening to it?
Yeah,
the whole thing was just not great.
If you listen to a record, it sounds really good because it's not digital, right? And it's lossless unless there's a scratch on it. So like a mint condition piece of vinyl is still going to sound amazing in a way that a tape is not, because it's not lossless. It does degrade.
Yeah.
And it's just. It always had a weird hiss to it. I never thought tapes was good. It was just what we had. And CDs, CDs were decent. Sound quality's not as good as vinyl, and it is lossless. But they're also, it's just a bit wank, isn't it? It's not really. It's nothing charming about a CD compared to
Speaking of things that are a bit wank.
A bit of vinyl.
You a fan of Marcus Brownlee? Or whatever his name is, the reviewer.
Yeah, he's not bad, yeah. I don't like Apple products, so I tend not to watch all of his vids, but I like his presentation, yeah.
But his he released an app called Panels this week, which is like a wall...
Panls?
Panels, yes.
PNLS?
P-A-N-A-E-L-S. Panels. It's like a wallpaper app in 2024 for some reason.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant that he had called it PNLS, Panels, because that's how you would do an app name. You would leave out the vowels, obviously. I think that's what the problem he's made is.
Yes,
it's rated 2.4 on the Google Store.
I know, because he's got a £12 per month subscription on it for you to use wallpapers.
What?
Really?
So basically, like in 2024, you can subscribe to Marquis Brownlee's app for $12 a month to get wallpapers.
What?
Has it got ringtones as well? I mean, what the fuck are we? What year is this?
Crazy frog ringtones.
Ding, ding. Why? Why would you do that? $12 a month?
I mean, the thing is, he was like flying right before this. He was like, everyone liked him. Everyone was like, he was, everyone. Almost, he was like a kind of a really influencing, a proper influencer.
Very
really,
influential. Yeah.
If he gave the Apple fucking goggles a bad review, that was dead. Do you know what I mean? Or stuff basically lived or died based on him. Especially with Kickstarts and things. I mean, he was like absolutely destroying these terrible fucking products.
Why? So this guy, he's clearly smart. He knows tech. He knows the industry. Did no one at any point say, Marcus, mate,
maybe
this is a terrible idea, dude?
Yeah, but maybe he just made a ton of money from it.
I don't know. I mean, who's going to spend $12 a month? It's either that or 2 ads.
I don't know. Sometimes people get too big for their own. Maybe he needs like an additional Ferrari. I don't know how it works. Celebrity number 6 solved. Okay, this one is...
what is all that celebrity number 6 stuff? I've seen this banded around, and I don't understand it at all.
Is it about the P. Diddy stuff?
So 5 years ago, There was a Reddit user from Finland who posted a picture of a piece of fabric they bought in 2008, which featured celebrities who were popular at the time. 7 of them were identified quickly, but the number 6 couldn't be identified.
Right.
Okay. Let's have a look. Where is it?
Is it something to do with P Diddy?
I like
the P Diddy files are gonna be. They're gonna hit hard.
I thought it was that.
Watch.
That's been all over the news.
Schofield's never gonna work again. He went to one of his freak off parties.
Celebrity number 6 has been named as P.
Let me have a look.
Just Google celebrity number 6, and it's like this sort of silhouette of a woman. She's wearing like a shirt. She looks like a kind of Hollywood celebrity, and obviously, like, it's just like no one could figure it out, and so lots of people were contenders. There was various people. Brad Pitt was a contender because he looks a bit like her. Princess Stephanie of Monaco. Rebecca Romijn. But apparently,
so it's Letitia Sada.
That's who it's.
A Spanish model.
After years of searching, it's been finally identified as Letitia Sada for some reason. Now,
how exciting!
So what?
I don't know.
Now what?
I guess we move on.
Case
to
closed.
More important, like climate change.
Everybody gets. All of the investigators get redeployed to new cases, and life goes on. And then you get the montage shot of the city of Baltimore and all of its
in the shadows,
all of its beauty and splendor, and some of the cracks as well.
The fabric was made by. Anyway, they tracked down the original designer, so apparently this is the person they picked, which is an odd person, I guess. Not that much of a celebrity compared to everyone else, but maybe just fitted well in the fabric.
Right.
I don't know. The other ones are fairly obvious, you know.
Well, big news.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, at least I know now.
Yeah, if anyone asks,
didn't know.
we know. Now we know.
That's it. That's all the loose news we've got.
You don't got any more news?
No, you're lucky. This lasted us longer than normally does.
I don't have any interesting tidbits to add.
I have a jingle, but we have no way of playing the jingle, unfortunately.
We're not very prepared for this.
Save that for when we're back.
Podcast. How long do we have to do this live podcast?
Another
for?
16 minutes, Sips.
Oh my god!
Another
How are we
16.
Gonna feel? So you want to do some ad reads?
I'm doing mailbag. I've got some mailbag.
Oh, okay, good.
God, no, do an ad read, Sips.
Yeah, we'll do some
ad
bloopers.
All right.
Got any ads?
Before we carry on, I'd like
a word from our sponsor this week.
Did you know that?
Is there anything you would like to advertise?
Gaviscon.
Okay.
As you get older, you may find that after a heavy meal, you suffer from heartburn. Use Gaviscon. Get a big old bottle of this from somewhere like Costco. And just a little bit of that soothes the heartburn and lets you sleep easy.
What do you find triggers your heartburn?
Just being really full of food.
It's just it's a fullness thing.
Do you like eating loads of food?
You don't feel like
jam it down there with Gaviscon. Yeah.
Like for me, it's sugar. If I have too much sugar, I'll have heartburn for sure.
No.
But and sometimes if I have too much bread as well.
Bread.
Have you ever had so much bread that you thought you were going to have some form of heart attack because of bread consumption? Like just way too much bread? Too many bready products?
No.
No, I've had heartburn because of that as well.
Really?
Too much bread. Yeah.
I do sometimes have to have a. I prefer Rennie.
Use a Rennie. Yeah, 2 Rennies usually does.
But I guess that bottle there is just a quick glug of that. It's quicker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you measure it out, or you just freestyle? You just
a
take
mouthful.
as much as you need. You just get a mouthful
like that.
Right?
Yeah, just quickly neck it.
I would like to give a shout out to oat milk, an alternative to regular milk, and
it's not an alternative. It's dog shit. There's a counterpoint. Counterpoint.
Can't live with. This is an advert. You're supposed to say something nice about it.
Sorry, I'm doing an advert at the same time, which says don't drink oat milk.
For regular milk.
Yeah.
It's like a.
How does it compare to regular milk?
It doesn't.
Have you done the taste test?
Yes.
Have you done the blindfolded taste test?
Oh yes, I could easily do it.
How did you score on the Coke and Pepsi blind taste test?
Well, imagine the Coke and Pepsi taste pretty similar. There is a difference. Milk and oat milk? It's like saying, run out of milk? Put some dog piss in your coffee. You don't need to do a blind taste test. It doesn't taste like milk. It doesn't feel like milk. It's not milk.
It's like kind of like porridgey milk. You know? It's like milk with a tinge of porridge. And I love porridge. I love oatmeal. So it works great.
But what if you just want a glass of cold milk?
Oh, it's not the same. No, you don't really want that. No, you don't.
So
really
it's
want
not an effective substitute.
Oat milk, brilliant.
You can use it in coffee.
You're substituting milk with porridge.
No, it's not that thick.
In a drinkable
It's not
form.
that thick. You can use it in
so
coffee.
It's like one of those Weetabix milkshakes. That kind of consistency.
No.
There's little, milk. Kind of like some bits in it.
No. It's not like lumpy.
Right, okay.
But the flavor is definitely not the same. And it does have
milk.
Slightly different consistency.
It's got a porridge taste.
I'm a fan of the hobnob. I'm a fan of the oats. Give me oats. So oat milk.
I like oats as well, but I mean, I like just cold milk too. Just normal milk.
Then stick to milk.
Mork Soul 4 says, I prefer to drink cum.
Thank you for that. You should watch the show Industry.
There's
a lot of coming in that one.
All right.
They're drinking it. They're eating it. They're using it as like a pasta sauce. Man, they're crazy.
This is why we got chat going, for those insights, guys, like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything you got advertised, Sips?
No.
Get
a new shower. If you find yourself in a situation where your shower is leaking and causing damage and spreading mold all over your house, it's time to get a new shower.
There must be other things you use in your everyday life.
You can get a beautiful shower enclosure from appliancesdirect.co.uk. Costs you not an arm and a leg. Good delivery time. I got a shower enclosure, 800 by 800, the perfect fit for my bathroom, and it arrived in Jersey. Okay, in like a week. It's unheard of.
That's quick.
It turned up in a big truck on a big pallet, and the guy who delivered it was like, I can just take all this stuff off the pallet. And I said, you know what? That's a great idea, because I don't want to be stuck with this pallet. I don't know what I'm going to do with it after you leave. So he took all the stuff off the pallet and dumped it on my driveway.
You might say it would be a little unpalatable.
Perfect. It was perfect. Great experience.
He got a
highly recommend. Would definitely do it again. No, not a free shower curtain. Well, there's no discounts like that. It's not like buy one. Is there anything towel rail or anything?
You must use something every day that you couldn't live without, right?
Yeah, the shower.
No, but beyond that, there must be appliances that you have in your house and things and stuff that, or websites or something you use that you're like, damn, this is good. I would like to advertise this.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
You haven't used in the last week a single product that you would recommend to anybody else.
I used some. I used some Co-op brand. It's basically Head and Shoulders, but it's like the Co-op brand Head and Shoulders shampoo for your hair. Not that I suffer from dandruff.
I thought you were going to say not that you have much hair.
I don't think I have much dandruff. I don't have much hair left either. But the couple of strands I have left, I do like to shampoo. And the Co-op brand Head and Shoulders is fine, I guess.
There you go. The Co-op brand Head and Shoulders is fine, I guess.
It doesn't sting my asshole as bad as other shampoo brands. The bottle is a good shape as well. Fits right up there, no problem.
Right. Really digging here.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
10 out of 10.
Let's do one email. This guy would like to remain anonymous. This is about public toilets. I'm currently studying a PhD in medieval history, which focuses on waste management in East Anglia. Very specific. Okay. My master's degree focused on waste management in medieval Peterborough. In short, I know my shit. Medieval shit.
Isn't that where the king was buried, in the car park?
Richard III.
Richard III. He was
somewhere like that,
famously buried on a site that they paved over a parking lot that was next to a pub called the Pig and Whistle or something. The goose on the green.
Oh, is that Leicester? Sorry.
The fox and the lizard.
My bad.
I completely agree with you on how terrible it is that public toilets are being shut down. It completely goes against how England and other Western European societies have dealt with waste and sewage. The main issue with managing waste is convenient disposal. If someone needs to urinate, they'll do it wherever is easiest and possible. One option might be free public toilets, but if that's not possible, it's entirely likely that they will piss next to a tree or on a wall. If you go out in London or anywhere really on a Saturday night, you will definitely see that happening.
Oh.
When you introduce paying for public toilets, it's simply an issue of how much you're willing to pay to do this. I'm happy to pay 20p, but what if it's £1 or £2? Maybe I'd use a tree or the wall. Yeah. If we remove free public toilets or made them inaccessible to everyone, all we do is end up with waste on our streets. In medieval England, they focused on providing easy waste disposal as they realized that having people dump dung heaps and animal corpses was bad for the community because smells and blocks drains and disease and all the rest of it. Local towns would fund public latrines and essentially street cleaners on the fines they gained from punishing people who disposed of waste incorrectly or broke other laws. Dung pits and other such disposal locations would be located around the city walls to provide an easy area to dump waste. It makes literally zero sense to cut down on public toilets, and the government surely has money to fund them, and if they don't, they should, in my opinion, refocus their expenditure. It's a real issue, and if medieval people knew we needed easy public waste disposal, why can't we realize that? Exactly. It's regression.
Amen, brother. Keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
We need more public toilets
back going.
They're closing them
down. You know what? They closed down a public toilet in town here, and they turned it into an alfresco cafe.
We don't need any more of
there.
Yeah.
You know what? They're preparing food in a toilet. It's disgusting.
It's the same.
We're not in prison here.
They did it in Twickenham too.
They're boiling the noodles in a toilet.
Disgusting.
Anyway.
Disgusting.
People like to go there, though. It is a popular joint. It's a popular joint. But yeah, I don't know why they're closing down all the public toilets. You go to France, they got public toilets staffed. Yeah, you got to pay a little bit to use them, but they're generally pretty clean. And they feel safer as well because there's somebody there. You know, you don't just feel like you're in... the contrast to that. One time I was in London on the tube. I stopped at Piccadilly Station. I used the toilet there. Somebody shit in one of the urinals. The urinal next to it was hanging off the wall. Like somebody, I don't know, kicked it off the wall or whatever.
There was water
go
fucking to Appliances
everywhere.
Direct.
Like I felt like it was like some sort of apocalypse in that bathroom.
Right.
It's crazy.
It was unbelievable.
London's a different place.
That's not a pleasant place to expel waste.
I see. And there was not a free urinal for you to shit in either.
No. And you know what? The ones that aren't staffed in France, in my experience, you walk in and there's just a hole in the floor, which is kind of disgusting, but they're self-cleaning. You know, they spray like a refreshing mist. After you're done, you have to pay to use it. You go in, you do your thing, you come out, and you can hear it's like magic happening in there after you've left.
All right.
There's like whizzing and whirring and clanking and mist spraying and stuff, and apparently it's, you know, clean.
Wow. They spray caustic acid, apparently. Some public toilets here sound an alarm for you to get out before they self-clean by spraying caustic acid. Oh, God.
No thanks.
Did I read this one to you guys about this guy's shit superpower?
Go on.
He's a shitting superpower?
He works for cinemas. Did I tell you this?
Maybe. But
temperature control.
He does temperature control in cinemas?
Yeah, I am a BMS engineer, building management systems. In layman's terms, the BMS system is the brain behind the building that controls heating and ventilation and keeps people a comfortable temperature without ever having to think it's too warm or too cold. That's his job.
Okay.
The company I work for has the contract to service one of Britain's most popular cinemas. Yes, that one.
Odeon.
Odeon. It's got to be.
Could be.
Isn't
Cineworld bigger? I don't know.
Sorry, Cineworld. Yeah,
must be one of those,
World, right?
I don't know. Or View. Anyway, this means we are on call to fix any issues with the ventilation for each screen. And when we go occasionally to give everything a check over to make sure no problems occur in the future. The perk of this is that I can use my phone to remotely dial into the software of any cinema I go to and turn the temperature up or down to my liking for the duration of the film and then put it back afterwards so no one is any the wiser.
What
they say
fuck?
Power corrupts, and
not
this
very
is
impressive.
Not a perfect example of that.
No, it's great. What you do is
he says,
you
not very
go on
impressive.
a date with someone.
You make it hotter. Oh, it's getting hot in here.
Exactly. Take off. Oh, I'm going to have to take off my top.
They want to know if we have any shit superpowers.
I'm going to have to take off my over at my anorak.
Now my anorak is itching. Oh, it's...
That is a shit superpower, isn't it?
I mean,
good one.
Yeah, it'd be quite... I guess that's a thing.
Kind of a ballsy move, too, isn't it?
I would just
walk into
this great
shit. Big building, and you can just on your phone, like you're like Penny from Inspector Gadget.
Just dragging.
Hang on, Brain. I'm going to raise the temperature in the cinema from my phone, from my computer.
That is a cool shit superpower. I really like it. Yeah, I like.
You know what? I like the way you go. Like Penny from Inspector Gadget. That's a 40-year-old cartoon, at least, right? We love these references. I was at the pub with a friend of mine the other week, and she was trying to think of, there was a new mum in the area, and she said she's really good looking. She's like good looking. She's not just like averagely good looking. She's like Claudia Schiffer good looking.
Right.
And I was like, what a reference! Like Claudia Schiffer. I hadn't thought about Claudia Schiffer in so long.
Yeah.
And we do that all the time with like Liz Hurley, Inspector Gadget,
Cindy Crawford.
We're living in the past.
Cindy Crawford was fucking banging in the.
She was never really my type.
90s.
Never really my type.
You would never think Claudia Schiffer was good looking, you know?
Claudia Schiffer, she looked kind of skinny, bony faced.
Yeah.
There were some pictures of Cindy Crawford. She looked amazing, but quite frankly, she wasn't stacked enough for young Flax to get really excited. She wasn't on Baywatch levels. That's all I'm saying.
No,
they had to have that ass.
I'm talking about hooters.
Oh right, a top. Okay.
Yeah, but we've seen the kind of stuff that you're
a
into.
big boobs man.
Remember, you showed us
now I've adapted. I'm everything. I'm just saying.
Sorry, God, Sim. Sorry.
Flax's taste in boobies is like I would say wild. Like he likes really huge boobies.
How do you know this?
Big.
Who told you that?
You told us.
I've never mentioned this before in my life. I've never.
No, you showed us like a search history or something when we were recording. Yeah. Lewis remembers as well, and all
that
the
was on my Instagram.
Were insanely large women with like gargantuan titties.
Right. So I challenge any lads in chat here who have a bit of a smutty Instagram.
It's going a bit red, I think.
Click on the question mark.
Look, the biggest bazongas you've ever seen.
Any blushing? Don't give a hoot. Go to your search history. Click the fucking magnifying glass on your Instagram right now and scroll and look at what it suggests for you. Smut.
It's true.
In my Instagram.
Flax's recommended was hilarious. Like it was like cartoonishly large women. Like they didn't even look like real people.
It's true. But they know you. We've been through this. The algorithm knows what you like. You know.
It somehow knows. I don't know how it knows. I've never given the algorithm any reason to think it.
It's the lingering gaze. That's what it is.
I don't use Instagram, but my recommended again is it's all like sped up DIY. You know, like time lapse of a loft conversion, time lapse of me surprising my neighbor and tidying up their yard. Like it's all shit like that, and I don't even really watch a lot of shit
installation. Like that. Well, it's because all you talk about is listening to you. Do you know what I mean?
It must be. It's got to be listening to me. All my DIY chats.
I'm aware it's personalized chat. That's my point. I'm saying if you click on your question on your search history on Instagram, if it's clean, fair play. But a lot of people wouldn't want to click that button. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure we could continue, but we actually have to stop because we're at time.
I just tell you quickly that in between all the Disney watching, my daughter also really loves watching clips of Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street.
It's fantastic. Oh, watch the documentary.
Watch the documentary. Her head off.
It's so good.
Them. But some of them are really funny. Some of the older clips of Bert and Ernie that we would have probably watched when we were growing up are funny. Like the one when he's eating cookies in bed. He's got all the crumbs in his bed. And here, fishy. She liked that one as well.
It's so good.
It was really
but there's a documentary about the making of Sesame Street. It's brilliant.
Oh,
you should watch
okay.
I'll
really watch. Where really can I watch that?
Max's documentaries playlist.
No, it's not. It's on HBO. I think
it's on HBO. Okay, I can watch. I can
have a look.
That. I'll watch.
I can't remember what it's called. Anyway.
Well, thank you, everyone. we'll see you all next time. Obviously,
thank you so much. See you next time.
There was a regular one that went out yesterday.
Yeah, so thanks to the guy on Twitter who asked me if we'd stopped doing it. Big fan of the podcast.
There's one
yesterday.
There's a mailbag next week, and then we we should be back to normal after that.
We're
hopefully,
back to normal,
this one's going to go out though, right?
This will be on the feed.
We'll do one tomorrow too, right, guys?
It's not going to have a
live
visual gag.
Do a mailbag tomorrow.
We'll do a mailbag
tomorrow.
There was only a couple of times when you did the Greg Wallace impression that it would have helped to have the video on this podcast. But
they'll have to deal with it.
Can I just see that again?
The Greg
Wallace face. Just there we go. Thank you. Just needed. just needed that. All right. See you later, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.